talk about the variety we're standing by now?
So this is Touriga Nacional. The Touriga Nacional is probably the most famous of the Douro Valley varieties, but in fact is only planted in relatively small proportions across the valley. It's a variety which has very low yields and produces very dense, concentrated wines, which provides that lovely sort of deep backdrop that you get to vintage port in particular. Touriga Nacional is not an easy variety to cultivate, and so individual farmers don't particularly like it, but it's always a very important ingredient in vintage port, and certainly in TAYLO's vintage ports, which of course are known for their structure, their depth and their longevity.
Talk about this variety here.
So this is Tinta Roriz, also one of the most popular varieties in the valley, and wonderful aromatic variety. It has slightly larger berries than many of the other Douro varieties, and this means that it produces its best results in dry years like this one. It needs a little bit of dryness to provide the concentration, but if you have that, it produces absolutely phenomenal wines, very often with a lovely kind of resiny, cedary character, which gives another exotic dimension to the blend. This is the Tinta Barroca. The Tinta Barroca produces lovely, rich, plump wines. It produces wines which are very sweet and very attractive. It likes being planted in shadier parts of the vineyard. If it's planted in full sun, it tends to produce wines which are a little bit too sweet and too heavy. But if you plant it in places where it's not exposed to sunlight all through the day, it does produce lovely, supple, rich, opulent wines, which can add a very attractive dimension to the blends.
This variety here, tell us about the characteristics.
So this is Tinto Cao. Tinto Cao is not very widely planted in the Douro Valley, but is becoming more and more so as people understand it better. It's a wonderful variety. It's one of the oldest varieties in the Douro Valley, and it's utterly reliable. Whatever the year, whatever the characteristics of the year, it always produces wonderful results, provided it's picked at the right point. The wines of Tinta Cao have a wonderful fresh acidity and a beautiful velvety character, which adds this wonderful soft texture to the blends. It's a variety which I think we'll get to understand much better in coming years as it becomes more widely planted.